Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Meek again. Okay guys, I had a colors video that was supposed to come out today, but like random Big H news. Big H is exploding at the moment and there's so much going on, so I was like, let me tell you about Big H first and then I'll do my colors video as like a bonus video at some point, either this weekend or the beginning of next week. So I actually have two things I want to chat about today. We're going to do a bait list and then I'm going to react to this story that was posted on Perspop's blog about a woman who went to shop in Paris. She did a lot of pre-spending. I think a lot of you had reached out to me and told me, did you read that on Perspop? Like, what did you think? I had a lot of thoughts on it, so we'll chat about that as well. So without further ado, let's start off with the bait. So thank you to my subscriber who sent this to me. I'm really grateful that she shared this with me. So she was offered a Kelly 28 very recently in Paris. However, she does have bait/purchase history, so we're going to quickly chat about that. Last year she visited and she bought 2 belts, okay? And she visited like in summertime and she got 2 belts. This time she visited again, she bought 1 item, which I think is really important. She bought a diamond ring. I won't tell you exactly which ring it is. I want to protect her privacy a bit, but she bought a ring with diamonds basically when she came, or when she went to Paris this time round. Then she had gotten the ring, and then the next day, literally the next day after purchasing the ring, she wins at the Big H Parisian lottery. And then she gets an appointment literally on her second day of being there after purchasing the ring. She lodged her requests, like what bags that she was looking for, and then she was offered the following. So I think this is worth mentioning. She's offered 2 Kellys, she's offered a Birkin Cellier, she's also offered a mini Evelyn, and she's also offered two Picotins. She's offered a ton, and this was at one of the Parisian boutiques. So this is a really interesting score. In my previous video, kind of went on a bit of a rant about Big H in Paris, because I feel like it drives me absolutely mad when people just don't keep it Gucci, and that's what we do on this channel. We keep it Gucci. Salute to my subscriber for keeping it Gucci and being transparent about what she spent. Was she offered all of those bags this year because she bought a pricey bit of fine jewelry? Yeah, I think she was, and she was offered some really good bags, like quota bags, non-quota bags. She was offered great colors as well, which I won't mention, like I said, to protect her privacy. But I mean, being offered Kellys, being offered a Birkin Cellier, a mini Evelyn, and Picotins. She was offered those because she purchased that pricey diamond fine jewelry item. That is why she got offered those. I honestly find it almost like wild that people believe the story that Big H has been trying to sell at Honey. Big H is trying to sell you on this idea that a company that is publicly traded on the stock exchange, I believe in Paris, somehow leaves it up to chance that their 3 most important products, like the 3 holy grail products of that brand, the Birkin, the Kelly, and the Constance, are somehow sold based on chance, and if it happens, and if the SA likes you and you have a good relationship. That is absolute nonsense, okay? And I just want all of us to kind of just say, look, do you know what? I absolutely acknowledge that there are people who score with £1 on their account, but they are actually part of this algorithm. We're seeing massive changes in the way the Parisian Big H boutiques are allocating stock. It seems to me that one of the changes that's happening is people who have purchase history, i.e. My subscriber purchased last year, she came back and purchased. They are therefore rewarded with a score on their second trip. Now you might be like, okay, well, I don't have, you might be like, I don't have the time to travel many times. I feel like that is kind of where we're headed. But let's say you don't have the time to dedicate in that sense. You need to spend time in Paris applying every single day for the lottery, and also building a purchase history so that your profile looks good, so that you can be chosen. I do think that there's like a Wizard of Oz kind of person that at the end of the day is the one that confirms all the lottery appointments. I think the lottery is rigged, if that makes sense, but I think it's rigged in favor of people who have purchase histories. There are a lot of people who, for whatever reason, seem to get amnesia. Some of these people get amnesia and seem to forget that they have purchase history at the brand. So, for example, let's say you went 2 years ago and you bought like a Twilly, and you bought nail varnish or something, like 2 really small purchases. Then let's say you come this time around and you buy a bunch of stuff. You would still need to remember that you did come previously and bought something. And let's say you came previously, you didn't buy any bait items, or you didn't like buy anything that would be like massive. You bought orans and then you were offered a bag. You still need to count that quota bag you were offered if you went back today and got offered an amazing thing. I feel like whenever people talk about the Parisian situation, people forget that they have purchase histories. Not everyone does in Paris, to be fair, but people forget that they do. I think it's really cool that my subscriber was just very transparent. You know, she went there the first time, she bought belts. She went there the second time around, she buys diamond fine jewelry, and then she's offered a bunch of bags. She took a Kelly, and then she also took a Picotin, and both of them are in beautiful specs. She also told me she felt like she could have taken another quota bag, but she decided against it. And then here, this is what she said. She said, "I think your advice going for jewelry was very helpful. The leather associates can definitely see what you've purchased." Yes, they can, because they just pull it up. So thank you, darling, for sharing this with me. Thank you, because people always get mad at me and write essays and comments about how they walked in and spent £1. The bottom line is, people scoring in Paris are spending money. Yes, there are people who spend £1, penny, euro, but trust me when I say that they are in the minority, and it's part of, I think, Big H's algorithm, so that they can't be accused of doing things through like linked sales or whatever. But at the end of the day, I do think that building like a really good purchase history in Paris, I think that does play a role for a future offer. It's not set in stone. This is just a theory, but I've been hearing from a bunch of you who are succeeding and who are heading there, and you feel good about your chances, and you should, because you do have a good purchase history. So if you have succeeded in Paris and you want to share your story of your purchase history, we don't want to hear unicorn Pegasus cupcake stories here, meaning if you're just going to be like, oh, I want to talk about how I scored but I didn't have any purchase history, that doesn't help anyone, because at the end of the day, that is you being in the minority. Another thing I wanted to address, because I got this on my previous video, was people saying, well, you know, my husband and my boyfriend like walked in, and my boyfriend doesn't have purchase history. We all know the tea. We all know that Big H loves seeing the lads in the boutique. They really do like seeing men shopping from them. They want to sell more men's prêt-à-porter, more men's shoes and men's watches and all the rest of it. So of course they're going to be happy to see your husband in there. So I don't know why sometimes people so I get these comments sometimes, I don't understand them, and I don't understand the tone of them, because if you're going with your husband, generally speaking, at Big H, we know it's easier for men to be offered quota bags, and we all know that, so it's not really anything new. If you can go with your husband or your boyfriend, you know, you should. If you can't, I don't think it's the end of the world. You could still score. I think the point I'm saying is that purchase history really does play a role in Paris. I have been saying this for months and months and months and months, that purchase history matters. You guys, some of you guys are stubborn, boo-boo. Some of you are stubborn. You don't want to listen to me. That's fine. Now, let's talk about who you are going to listen to, because I'm pretty sure you're going to listen to this woman right here. Let's talk about Purse Bob. So, a few days ago, a bunch of you sent me this post that Purse Bob wrote on her blog, and it was interesting. So it was someone who sent this to Purse Bob, and then it was reprinted on her blog. So it's not her, because obviously Purse Bob is a VIP, but it's someone who who follows Passport, who wanted to share their Big H Paris story. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read excerpts of it. You can just go on Passport's website on your own and you can go read it. And here Passport says, this was written by a Passport team member, so maybe someone who works for Passport that prefers to remain anonymous for the sake of reference and of sharing content. Will use Bob Talk, okay, on Instagram. So a bunch of things. It's a really, really long article, so I'm not going to go through too much of it. But there's some interesting things that I want to kind of chat about. So it's like a long story of how she goes on this odyssey to score. However, let's start off here. One of the first interesting things that she notes here, she says, the last time I went to FSH, there was no appointment system. This time, I felt like I had the upper hand from all the Passport information I had. I envisioned myself getting an appointment and convincing myself to stay positive, okay? The night before we left, I bookmarked the leather appointment website on my iPhone. Since the application is submitted the day before the appointment, I set my alarm for 10:30 a.m. France time. I groggily entered my passport number, selected FSH as my desired boutique, and went back to sleep. In the morning, I checked my email and text for any confirmation, nothing. Was I flagged as a bot? Sure enough, I received this email, and then she receives like a rejection email. Okay, so the first thing to kind of chat about, and again, by the way, I think this is wonderful that this was shared on Passport's blog, because I think it's great to hear someone else's bait story outside of this channel, because I know you guys think that I'm really harsh. Some of you really fight me whenever we do these bait videos, and I have been talking about bait for months and months and months at this point. I have shared so many bait stories. For the people who don't believe, I'm going to convert you to the fact that Paris is based on spend, based on this Passport story. So the first tidbit here that we need to kind of chat about is the fact that she says, the last time I went to FSH, ding, 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 ding. First point here, she has purchase history at Big H. Okay, fine. Her purchase history didn't help her because she's already been rejected. No big deal, honey. We will all be rejected, even with purchase history. There's so many people applying every day. The last number that I heard recently, one of you told me a number. The number was 10,000 appointments every day in June. One of you told me that. Thank you for sharing that with me. That was 10,000 people a day. So then she goes on, and then she says how they're staying at the Four Seasons at George Cinq. The Four Seasons George Cinq, which is obviously, you know, a really, really, really ritzy, super glamorous hotel. She goes to the concierge, tries to see if they can get her an appointment. With a bewildered look, the concierge replied, Hermes is strictly booking appointments online only. Clacking away at her computer, she scribbled down the website address I visited earlier that day. I sighed and looked at the time. Oh gosh. I guess we were late to the Louvre, no time to go to George Cinq. Then she goes on chatting about the rest of her trip and all the rest of it. Then she says in the evening, she says, I arrived at FSH with my kids at 5:50 p.m., which was 40 minutes before closing. It was lively and packed with clients. My eyes widened with delight. I didn't know where to begin. The main floor was packed. The main floor was packed with people waiting for appointments or begging for one. So I decided to make my way upstairs to the shoe department. And then she talks about how wild it was, how absolutely manic it was, how she had to patiently wait for an essay. She used free Wi-Fi. And then the essay, she says how she's looking for the Kypros sandals and the dream trainers. The essay is like, will you follow me to a dressing room? She goes on and on and on. And yeah, she goes on and on and on. And then she says, the next day my alarm blared at 10:30 a.m. I carefully entered my information again, making sure to triple check my passport and number and email. And then she says how, like, you know, she's just like, you know, carrying on with her day basically. Then she says they go back to FSH, right? I gathered up the courage. I went to the leather appointment desk to ask for a walk-in appointment. The manager at the podium politely handed me a card to apply online. She said, I'm sorry, madame. Each store is allotted 20 appointments and 6,000 people apply every day. I don't know when, so just take a break for a second and come a little bit closer. I feel like I'm sitting far away. I don't know when she went, but it's definitely way more than 6,000 people per day now, because like I said, the number I was told, which is very recent, was 10,000 people a day. So 6,000 sounds like a dream to me. That doesn't sound as bad as 10K. And when I was there, it was 14,000 people a day. Okay. So then she's given this card. And then, okay, here's an interesting juicy little tidbit here. She goes, as a last resort, I desperately blurted out, is Laurent available? He was an SA I met on my last trip, and she puts a star. Name has been changed. The lady shook her head, he is not working today. Before I could say anything else, she motioned the next hopeful customer in the line to step forward. She then moves on to SLG. She's looking around at SLGs. She has a wish list of items. She says how she's offered drinks, like water. She asks for things, and clients are being told that things are not available to purchase and all the rest of it. And then she's like, do you have a Kelly to go or a Constance to go in a neutral? No. Do you have a Rodeo or a Pegasus charm? And then she says how like the SA unlocks, she says how the SA basically unlocks the cabinet. Okay, so let's take a break for a second so we can kind of chat about this portion. First of all, it's really interesting that she was like, do you have, like asking the leather manager, like, is, you know, XYZ available? Really what she should have done was contacted that specific SA before she went on her trip. And if you have an SA contact in Paris, you should ideally make sure that you basically stay in touch with that person. But at the end of the day, if you get an SA contact, eventually, honey, they're gonna want you to show them the money. So maybe she should have emailed him, but that, it sounds like she was at FSH years ago, because in the beginning of the article, she says how the last time she went to FSH, there were no appointments. It sounded like the good old days. I think the appointment system was started like a few years ago, so it definitely sounds like she hadn't been there for many years. So would the SA remember her? Maybe the SA would say no, you know, we don't know, it's so variable. So she gave it a go. The leather manager said that he wasn't working at that time. Then the SA who brings out a drink says, hello, I remember you from yesterday, because remember she bought the Cupra sandals and the Dream trainers. You came in with your kids, right? Can I help you? And then she said, I'm looking for, oh no, wait, sorry, hold on, wait. I've gone too far ahead, just a second. Before that, after she asked for the Pegasus, this other SA shows her the Pegasus and Rodeos. Then the other SA scrolls through her purchase history. Oh my God, Kagem is right. You guys are gonna be mad. Kagem is right. She scrolls through her purchase history, and then she says, I think I have something you might like. She brings me over to a private corner. She pulls out a gold Constance Slim. Elated, this was exactly what I'm looking for. So we need to chat about that first. Okay, so guess what? She was offered a Constance Slim. Why? Guess why she was offered a Constance Slim, boo-boo? Because she bought shoes the day before. Don't worry. I know some of you are hurt. You're mad because you have to say I'm right, that your spend matters. Constance Slims are not easy to get, okay? You can't just walk in to any of the Parisian stores and just walk out with one. They're really not that easy to get. Then she says, as I went to check out, the SA who brought me a drink said, hello, I remember you from yesterday. You came in with your kids, right? Can I help you find anything? So this is obviously another SA, because remember she was offered drinks. She says, half jokingly, I'm looking for my dream bag. Okay. Okay, then she says, he smiled and said, let me see what I can do for you. Pulling out his iPhone, he added my name to the leather appointment list. Stunned, I could not believe my luck. It felt like a dream. She's like, oh, you know, she's like talking about how happy she was. And then she's like waiting with her son. And then after about an hour, I checked whether my name was truly on the list. The SA assured me it wouldn't be that much longer. After 15 minutes, she got the call, and then she was given another SA. And then here, the SA asks her, like the essay a young man led me upstairs, took our drink order. He asked me what I was looking for. My top choice was a mini Kelly in chai with gold hardware. I said a bunch of non-quota bags that I knew my sister was looking for. She mentions a Halzan, Lindy, a garden party. Which colors do you not like? And then she says, she'd rather not have palladium hardware. Ooh, girl, me too. No to palladium hardware, honey. And no black or dark colors. This person sounds like me. Same. I'm open to all types of leathers. Same. I replied, thinking about the myriad of black bags in my closet at home. I would definitely have something. And then he says, quote, I will definitely have something for you. You gave me a lot of options. He said, smiling. Then the real waiting began. 30 more minutes. At this point, she's been waiting for 1 hour and 30 minutes. I need to have an iPad so I can watch films while I'm waiting. He returned with 3 boxes. He was smiling. And then she goes on and on and on and chats about how it takes her somewhere private, whatever, to show her. And then this is what he shows her. He offers her a Kelly Cellier 25 centimeter in chai with gold hardware. Even though it wasn't the size I wanted, I quickly accepted the offer. Beautiful offer, by the way. She's also offered a Halzan, which she took. And then she's offered a Cinetic clutch in Rose Pupa, which she doesn't take. I feel like the Cinetic clutch is a nice like work clutch. Does anyone agree? Drop some diamonds for the Cinetic in the comments if you like the Cinetic clutch. I know everyone hates the Cinetic bag, but me. But thoughts on the Cinetic clutch? Because she posted a picture here on Purse Bob. Honestly, I think it looks quite nice. I think it looks nicer than the Halzan. Sorry. Okay, so she's offered, asked me any questions. I asked for his card, but he didn't have any since he recently started working. You can ask for me next time you have an appointment. You can get 1 Birkin or Kelly per leather appointment. Then she goes on, she goes out for dinner. Then, the night that she gets the Kelly, okay, she gets the leather appointment via the lottery. You know what, I'm not going to talk too much because some of you like fighting me. Do not fight me, okay? She bought those shoes the day before. She bought the Constance Slim, I beg your pardon. She gets a Kelly, and then she gets put on for the leather appointment via the lottery because of the, drum roll please, the Constance Slim purchase, in my opinion. Okay, so she's really happy, she's like really excited. Then the appointment is at Sèvres. She gets to Sèvres. She has to wait for 20 minutes, and then she says here, after a 20-minute wait, the leather appointment manager assigned me an available essay. The essay marched over with a stunned look on her face. What are you looking for today? Well, my dream bag's a mini Kelly. And then the essay's like, no mini Kellys here. Have you shopped in Paris before? Can you give me your full name? Because remember how when I went to Paris, I always told you guys the same thing, how they always search you up. As she looked at my profile, girl, she saw all my purchases from the previous days with a Z, honey, okay? And her brow furrowed and she scolded, you can't buy another bag. I cannot sell you a bag because you bought one yesterday. She says, but the essay said I could buy 1 Birkin or Kelly per leather appointment. No, if I sell you a bag, I will have none left at 4 p.m. She sighed as she looked over her shoulder, ready to walk away. Oh my gosh. Big H essays are cold-blooded. When I grow up, I want to be a Big H essay. Like, no, I can't sell you one, girl. Like, I'm done with you. Okay, I'm done. Since both of my sisters were looking for work bags, I timidly asked, you have any her bags or garden parties? Boo-boo. I would have gone to, with that budget, I would have gone to Big LV, honey. Big LV's got nicer work bags. Sorry, she does. She huffed at my request, asked me to wait. She came back with 2 large boxes. She offered her, I think, a cabas. And then she offered her a pink her bag. I pulled out my phone to take a picture. She waved her hand at me. No photos allowed. Okay, this essay is cold-blooded. Are you looking for anything else? What about a Constance to go, a Kelly to go? No, she said with a slight eye roll, looking down at her phone while shaking her head. Girl, you are getting checked, boo-boo. God. You know what? Big H essays are thug life, honey. They don't play, okay? They don't play at all. I convinced myself I just caught her on an off day. I proceeded to move through the store. She was complaining about how tired she was, and she goes on about all the small talk that they've made and all the rest of it. And then after that, she says, after a few days, I decided to brave the line at Hermes George Cinq. I started to snap a photo of a stunning orange croc wallet to send to my sister. The security guard wagged his finger at me. No photos. Wow, Big H is cracking down. I already told you, when I go back to Paris this autumn, like, I'm not going to take pictures or film any vlogs of Big H. I'll film vlogs in other brands and department stores, but like, I'm not trying to be told no pictures. I was never told don't take a picture, but I don't want to even get to that point. As I browsed, I saw one customer offered a large black Lindsay, a large black Bolide. A man with the Bolide told me it's not what I wanted, it's not a Birkin, as he pointed to his own black Birkin. She then tells him the Bolide looks good on you. He looked very sad. Of course she'd be sad, okay? No shade to anyone who has a Bolide. But of course, if you want a Birkin, of course you'd be sad not to get one. Okay, so that's pretty much it. She goes on to chat about, by the way, she also then takes a picture. She also then says she bought homewares and silks, like with the Sevres SA. And then there's a section here called lessons learned. So let's break it down. Does pre-spend help? It definitely helped me score a slim wallet. Yes, it did. And I'm glad to see her acknowledging this. That's fantastic to acknowledge that. As an aside, interestingly, my husband, who does not have a Paris purchase history, applied every day for 10 days and did not receive an appointment. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Does bringing your children help? Depends on your children. I saw a screaming toddler throwing toys at the shoe department and no one wants to be near that. Okay, I'm clutching my pulse. Okay, I don't know about that. Does your assigned essay matter? 1000% yes. My Sevres essay dismissed me before I even said hello. The Sevres essay was thug life. Okay, she was listening to Tupac. She wasn't playing. She clearly did not want to help me, even before knowing my purchase history. Exactly. Once she knew her purchase history, that's when she was like, okay. And then once she knew that she was going to buy something, she was like, fine. Does it matter what you wear? Maybe. I made sure to wear head to toe Hermes every visit. Should you ever give up? Never. Okay, so let's chat about a few things here. So like I said, salute to Passpop and to this person for sharing their experience. Obviously, they're sharing it anonymously. I think that this is a very realistic experience that many people experience. They're just not going to come on YouTube to film videos about it. They're not going to go on TikTok to film TikToks about it, or Reels and all the rest of it. I think that this is very realistic for how many people who shop at Paris experience things. Many of you who have scored recently have all spent money at the Parisian boutique. So I'm not surprised by this at all. I was really interested by a few things that I noticed. First of all, she had significant spend on this trip. She did score, but she scored because she bought that Constant Slim wallet. I don't know exactly how much they are right now, so I'm just going to check super quick, just in any currency. But sometimes like they come up, I think on the website, like from time to time. They come up every now and then on the website. Constant Slim wallet, yeah. The Constant Slim wallet in euros is 2,110 euros, and in US dollars it's 2,675. She was offered the Kelly because of the Constant Slim wallet and because of the Chypre and Dream trainers that she purchased the day before. So the day before she arrives, she buys the Chypre sandals and the Dream trainers. Then she buys the Constant Slim wallet. So at this point, her spend is probably like, I don't know, more than 3,000 and a bit euros, maybe almost 4,000 euros, something like that. Let's just say her spend is like about 4,000, but I can check since we're doing this very specifically. The Constant Slim is 2,100. So I mean, I think as I'm pulling up the prices, I think you can see here that it really, I feel like now we can just really be clear that spend really matters. So in the UK, the Chypre sandals are £550, so they're probably like 700 euros, probably something like that as well. Because if they're 550 pounds, they're probably about 700 euros. Okay, even better. In Europe, the Kipra sandals are 550 euros. So the Constant Slim is 2,110, then 550. Okay, and then she gets the Dream trainers, including the Dream trainers, which I can't find the retail price just yet. She spent at least minimum on, like, up until getting the offer for the Kelly Cellier, she spent at least 3,000 euros, more than 3,000 euros. Okay, so the Constant Slim, the Kipra sandals, and the Dream trainers, she spent minimum 3,000 euros, and much more than that, I'm sure. Then she's offered the Kelly 25 Cellier. Okay, now some of you, will be annoyed, but it's definitely looking like a 0.4 situation, and it's kind of looking like a 0.4, 0.5 to 1 situation already, up until when she gets that offer, which isn't surprising because a lot of the boutiques outside of Paris, many people say that you can get your offer as 0.4 to 1, 0.5 to 1. So she's already spent a few thousand euros, and then she gets her offer. Then after that, she, obviously she goes to Sevres, okay, and then she buys, and also she's offered the Halzan, which she takes, and then she buys homewares. I think she said that she also got like silks or something as well. So she spent quite a bit, and her profile looked good. Now, we're not going to count the Halzan because she was offered it, and it's not a quota bag, but I think you can see here that they want people like this client, they want people like this lady, because she was shopping and she's showing appreciation. She bought a non-quota bag, she got a quota bag, she bought shoes, she bought homewares, she bought, I think she also said that she got silks. She spent quite a bit this time round. While the Parisian boutiques don't operate on a one-to-one situation exclusively, i.e. it's like 100% one-to-one, and it's a one-to-one thing, and you have to accept that it's one-to-one. While they don't necessarily operate like that at the surface, if you actually read between the lines of this story, you can see that the people who are getting offers outside of the lottery, listen to what I'm saying, the people who are getting offers outside of the lottery are people who are showing loyalty to Big H by shopping in the other métiers. It's that simple. Even if you were trying to get a walk-in, they will pull up your name first. If they see that you haven't spent any money, I don't really see them giving you a walk-in. I think, yeah, even if your husband is like a good talker, maybe if your husband's like really, really good at talking, but right now there's just too much competition. There are too many people who are shopping at the Big H boutiques. There's so much competition there. I think if you think that you're gonna go there and not like buy anything and get a walk-in, like, it's one thing if you're just trying the lottery every day, you're not going to buy anything and you want to score without buying anything through the official online lottery, but I personally just don't foresee at the moment scoring in Paris without buying little bits and pieces so that your profile looks good, because you can see the theme throughout the whole story, how her profile gets pulled up. What's your name? They pull up her profile. Here and there and everywhere, her profile always gets pulled up because they're looking to see what she bought so that they can see if they can give her an offer. So salute to Passport for posting that. It was very interesting. A lot of you wanted to know what I thought. I think it's good to see a big platform sharing, like, in my opinion, the more realistic side of shopping at Big H. It is not cupcakes and Pegasus every day flying around giving everyone bags. It's just not like that. And I think we all know that deep down. I think we all know that. So I would just love to know what you guys think about the first bait story, which was from my subscriber. Thank you again to you, darling, for sharing that with me. That story just confirmed everything that I have been thinking for some time. I actually really think it's more about like fine jewelry and watches. I don't, ready-to-wear to a lesser extent, but I think it's more about fine jewelry and watches. I would, if I was heading to Paris, like, I'd be focusing more on the more pricier bits and pieces. I just don't have the time to dedicate to like trying every single day for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. I need to get my bag quick and leave. Okay, so I think that while no one has to buy anything, and don't get me wrong, no one has to buy anything, I think if time is of the essence for you, like maybe you're flying there, you're going for 4 days, 5 days, which to me, I don't feel like that's a lot of time to score at Big H, just because there are thousands of people trying to score every day. But if you're heading there for like 4 days, the first thing I would do on day one is just go and buy a really beautiful timepiece or a beautiful piece of fine jewelry with gemstones. I would make I'd ask the SA that sold me that particular item for their card, and then ask if you can come back the next day because you would like to buy a few other bits and pieces. And when you go back the next day, I would then ask for the quotes back. I would play it like that. That's like one way of playing it. Another thing is you could be quite direct, like after purchasing the really nice bits, and this would work more in Severa as opposed to the other two boutiques, but you could be like, you know, like I've been trying really hard to get an appointment. Do you think maybe I could be seen today? Do you think maybe you could help me? If the person says no, you need to try online, you could be like, okay, could I have your card? And then if it doesn't work out, could I come back tomorrow? I feel like you need to kind of push things along for yourself. There are just so many people trying every day. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Do I think that you need to do I think that the people who spend money get the appointment faster? Yeah, I do. I do. And I think I'm not surprised. I think that's like a good business strategy. I think that's a good business idea to offer like appointments to people who spend. That, like I said, there are always going to be those like unicorn cupcake stories of people scoring without spend, but they're in the minority. So I think it's refreshing to hear honest, realistic stories. Only the people with the unicorn Pegasus stories are going on TikTok and YouTube to share their stories. Many people don't want to talk about what they're spending, but I have been clear where I stand. I'm actually being quite diplomatic in today's video, but at the end of the day, show me the money. I do think that your purchase history matters there. I think if you have a unicorn Pegasus cupcake experience and you're chosen and you didn't have to spend, good for you. But most people who are scoring in Paris at the moment have purchase history. If you have purchased a nail varnish for 45 euros, you have purchase history. So don't be like, oh, I don't have purchase history there and I scored, and then you bought a Rams or you bought a nail varnish or you bought one of their body lotions. If you bought anything in there, frankly, anything in France, because because obviously the purchase history can be seen by them if you were shopping in Marseille or whatever, you have a purchase history. So I just want all of us to acknowledge that. And don't get me wrong, there are going to be some of you who have scored this year, you didn't spend any money, good for you, but the majority of people who are shopping at Big H right now are doing pre-spend. So I'd love to know what you guys think about my thoughts on that purse pop story, and of course I'd love to know what you guys think of the Parisian bait story. That Paris bait story just confirmed, you know, I was reading it, I was like, it confirmed everything that I've been thinking. Fine jewelry is the way. So, you know, you can listen to me if you want. If you don't want to, you don't have to. No one has to listen to me, honey. I'll go back this autumn and I'll try it out. But a few of you have been scoring in Paris and you've told me that my theories and strategies are turning out to seem like they kind of have some steam. So it is what it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the weekend in my next video.